Alright, we're back to Towers of Doom. We have another match in the house here at the RavenCourt tournament. So, another best of 3 series. And our first map is Towers of Doom. Quick rule recap. We had the preseason where all the players could show off their skills a little bit. Then we had the actual draft happening. So the team captains, who the teams are now also named after, drafted their players from the player pool. And this is what we're seeing now. We're in the round robin phase of the tournament where the players are playing for glory and prize money. And of course there is also a Meta Madness light rule active. There are no pre-bans or anything like that, but heroes can only be played once within the same series. Keeps things a little bit more interesting. We had all kinds of tournaments, but something to definitely throw out early here. Now, as it turns out, Team Skogh, they apparently hate fun. They ban the Vikings, which I already don't like. But should be an interesting series, to say the least, because the blue team in particular actually surprised me quite a lot in the first series that they played in the round robin when they faced off against Team Cure. And they did way better than I expected and had a very good showing where they coordinated their attacks just perfectly. The drafts were solid and it looked really good. So, very interested to see what else they can do as the round robin continues and how far they can go with this. But, well, for now we have our bans on the first map behind us. Bishops is not going to be able to play Hanzo this time around. Last time on Towers of Doom he was able to bust out Hanzo with great success. He has of course also played Vala. We oftentimes see him on Cassia, which is a hero that he could choose to play here too. But our first pick is the top lane. So, Hogga is gone. Hogga is out. If you want to have more information about the RavenCourt in general, as highlighted during the pre-phase, the pre-season of the tournament here, you can check out the command that is in, sorry, the link that is in the description of the video if you're watching this on YouTube right now. And by the way, if you do, first of all, you fuckers, make sure that you hit that sub button. I can see how many of you that watch these videos are subbed, and it is a little bit embarrassing. We need to aim a little bit higher on that one. So, yeah, don't only hit that like button, but hit that sub button a bit hard. Supports the channel and helps, of course, also to grow all of the content here. So, yeah, definitely get on that. We need to set some goal or something like that, but yeah. Anyways, Blaze and Sylvanas get locked in early. So, with Sylvanas trying to... So it's actually also kind of interesting because what Cure did is he moved into the side lane position a lot more and tries to play a side laner, which are a bit more forgiving when it comes to ping disadvantages. Madara, of course, finds himself in the same boat where he currently is playing with an increased ping because he plays from North America on the European server. Playing Sylvanas with that, we'll see if he's going to pay a price for that, if he can actually do that. But yeah. Either way, we now got Genji and we have Brightwing as the next picks. That should result in maybe an adjustment on... well, what am I saying? Anduin is not going to be played here. They already have Brightwing for them. I personally enjoy myself a really good like bomb combo with Genji. I really like it. It's an old school comp, but it's really effective. Threatening the backline with it, and it's just awesome. As much as I hate the lore side of Anduin, yeah. I kind of like the combo there too. And he gets banned. It was actually kind of funny because I went on one of my Anduin rants in one of the videos that I released in the RavenCourt, and there was a guy that in the YouTube comments immediately jumped in and then called me a Nazi because of it. I was like, okay, that's an interesting quip. He doesn't like Anduin, he's clearly a Nazi. So, yeah, was wild. I was like, interesting deduction. And he was trying to hide it, you know? I mean, like, what gave me away? Is it the haircut? Ah, damn it. Is it the German heritage? But yeah, he got me. It's a shame. So, Tyrael and Blaze, so we go for the dual layer of defense here. Sanctification and Blaze Bunker. A white man for Ixia, me like it. Good one. And, well, the final 2 picks. More interested to see what Bishops is actually going to go for. What are we going to get for him as damage? Is it going to be another... Ooh, Hammer! Hammer and Murden! Okay, talking about a hero that I did not have on my bingo card for this particular game. There's no Hazu, there's no Ultralisk, there's no Nick. So, none of the usual Sergeant Hammer suspects. But yeah... I like it. final one for the red team as we're heading into game number 1. What's it gonna be? We're getting Chromie. Alright, so Chromie together with Sylvanas for the damage. Game number 1, map is set. Towers of Doom, everybody. Let's jump straight in and let's see which team takes the lead. Is it going to be Team Skogh or Team Madara? Game number 1, Team Skogh against Team Madara. On the left side, we have the blue team with Skogh himself playing Hogger, Bishops on Genji, Max Passion on Murden, Hunter Hawk on Brightwing, and Gavlo on Sergeant Hammer. They switched Bishops over to Genji. They needed a German to play the tank, and now it's Gavlon, the hammer, for all the damage. On the right side of the map, Team Madara with Madara playing Chromie, the captain, Ixia on Whitemane, Yon on Tyrael, Evixos on Sylvanas, and Sven on Blaze. Now, guys, I'm gonna be blunt. Yes, there's a couple of Smurf accounts here involved, but if the players can't be bothered to switch to their main account for a tournament, then I can't be bothered to just like talk around this. Player names are gonna be read as on screen in most cases, so yeah. My stream, my rules. If they can't be bothered to push their normal account in, then I don't care of giving them exposure either. Pretty much that. Too lazy. Didn't have didn't have a proper breakfast today. Everybody knows breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Now it's the evening and I'm running out of energy. I'm not quite sure what to tell you. So yeah, that's just what it is. Time Walker's Pursuit on level 1. What we're getting for Chromie, and at the same time it is the advanced artillery here for Sergeant Hammer. A bit of an aggression against Sven up at the top, and down to the bottom of the map it's still our 3 versus 3. Gavlo, a bit unhappy of course that he is not on level 7 yet, so he doesn't have a lot of mobility, and gotta watch most likely them trying to take the camp here. Not sure if they can actually pull that off. So if you commit to that and then you don't do it, that means that you wasted quite a bit of time and resources there, so that's unlucky. They at least got Muradin low, but they haven't given up on this yet, so they're starting to move in once more and start to do their thing. Off we go. Nicely done. Yeah, talking about health and also about important breakfast, you know, I've been actually the last couple of days again looking at these fitness and health rings that they have. You know, that aura ring? Those things are pretty pricey, and what always pisses me off with a lot of these tools that measure your heart rate throughout the day, that give you a bit of an indicator also about just other health metrics, is that they have a subscription aspect to it. I'm so tired of like 50,000 subscriptions. I already have subscriptions on Twitch, I have stuff on Strava. Like, I'm totally willing to have a certain budget that I'm willing to blow out every month, but that every single tech tool that you get these days also wants to go for a subscription metric. That's a little bit too much. Especially on some of the social aspects, when you're talking about certain podcasts and stuff, I'm more than happy to support creators there, but when I buy myself a tech tool, I kind of want to be able to use it without having to pay a monthly as well, particularly if it's pricey. But now they have this ultra-human ring that apparently is also doing the same thing, and it's kind of interesting. So I'm not quite sure. Like, when it comes to sleep tracking, it's something that interests me and where I think you can improve your health quite a bit. Not sure if there's anybody out there that has personal experience with either one of the Ultra Human Ring or the Aura Ring, and if that actually triggered any changes. But it's an interesting topic. I think over the next couple of years this is going to get very interesting, and already is. So yeah, we'll have to see how far that goes, but that's definitely something that I'm going to keep my eye on a little bit. The same obviously happens also to the altars. I'm going to keep my eye on that, because right now we have 3 up, and well, with Sylvanas dying, that's already a setback for Team Madara. So as mentioned, Team Skogh impressed me in previous matches that they played, and now they're starting off with a bit of a lead here, as at the top left and top right more altars get channeled, and the fight continues at the bottom, but they now took 2 out of the 3. So yeah, there's that. One of the things that annoys me a little bit with all of these health trackers is, by the way, the step count. It's actually not so much that there is a step count, it's just people abuse it to be lazy. I had a discussion with a friend while I was in Germany for Gamescom, and... or a friend of a friend more. And she's been talking about like how she can't lose weight, and she's like, but I'm doing so much sports. I'm like, well, what do you do? Well, I walk 10,000 steps. Every single time I hear that, I want to punch the person in the face that sits on the other side and says that sentence. I mean, not literally, obviously, but it is so infuriating to me right now that people don't understand that this isn't sport. Nice, good kill. It is obviously activity, so it's better to do 10,000 steps a day than not doing them, but people that use it as like, oh, I'm doing a sport. No, you're not. That's not exercise. You're not sweating. Like, that's not the same thing. It's nice that you do that, but you can't just say that and then be like, yeah, so I don't have to do any sports. Like, nah, that is still a pretty big part of being healthy, and especially if your goal is losing weight. That's one of the pillars of the equation there. So, yeah, kind of need to change things a little bit. It's kind of insane. So, yeah, these things are getting misused without end these days. Step counter, the bane of any health person. Well, Bishops also. Could be the end of him. Yeah, he didn't do his 10,000 steps either. At least he didn't do them in the right direction, because if he would have stepped in the right direction, he would have actually escaped there. But it's good to see that Team Madara is now locking a kill in for themselves, because up to that now, they've lost 3 of their heroes, but they started to bring it back a little bit with this kill, and thanks to Sylvanas being part of their team composition, they can now easily use that as the first trigger point to break through the bot lane a bit. Now there's of course also an altar up, so they have to focus on this as well, but there is a chance to do some damage. They open the wall and, well, there you go. So, pretty sweet. But either way, we now have up at the... Ooh, Skogh! Right wing to the rescue, I guess. That could have gotten a bit dangerous. There's level 10. Not really... I mean, they got a couple of really nice tools with level 10, but it's nothing that really forces the fight immediately and gives you a huge advantage where you can force the engagement. You have, obviously, the shockwave of Skogh, but that's at the end of the day the only additional stun that they got. Still forces the red team back and allows them to get another altar, which they did, and now they are starting to put in a very decent lead on core points. 28 to 36. It's still Towers of Doom. Late game is what is the most important thing here. So, yeah. But, alright. With that now, we have the next fight already. The camp taken by Team Madara, so they didn't have to give this one up. And now Skogh is very much alone on the right side and gets killed. Team Madara getting a few more kills in for themselves. I like it. Madara himself on URL. You know, this is color coordination, by the way. Like, look at those European plebs with their poverty horses and all of this crap. And then you have the boy from the States coming here. Good skin on Chromie, gets the mount in, and that synergy alone already puts the fear of Chromie into the heart of the opponents whenever she rides into battle. So they get another kill, another trap, bell towers taken, and all of those pesky Europeans here are starting to struggle as the red team is led by pure NA power right here, right now. Freedom! Ah, well. Or not. Everybody was trying to get away, and guess when? The body blocks are real. I mean, that's some sexy plays that we are just seeing from the blue team. They couldn't get the kill, but they forced out the bunker. That's a nice cooldown to get burned, as Gavlo has already started to attack the bell tower so they can reclaim it. You don't want to fall back too far on that account, or you're going to very quickly lose your lead in core points. So, yeah, there it is. With that, we now have 3 kills, 2-2. And, yep, 1 channel each is apparently what they're aiming for. 4 shots fired. Ooh, no, not quite. 3 shots fired against 4. So the blue team was maybe a millisecond too early in their channel and didn't capitalize on the bell tower conversion at the bottom left. They got 3 shots, but at least they denied Team Madara to get 5 points off their core. So, yeah. Bit of a win, bit of a loss. Either way, Mirrodin now also gets dropped. And, well, here we are. Another attempt to reclaim the bell tower down at the bottom of the map. I like the aggression that's coming from them now. They get a kill, they drop Mirrodin. Wasn't able to get his avatar out. Wailing arrow from Sylvanas, of course, also playing a role there. Skogh is fighting back up at the top, so Skogh is saying, hey, we can't defend it. Maybe we can go and attack a little bit and do some work. But, yeah, Bishops slowing down Sven, buying more time at the top lane. And honestly, it really works out for them. It's like 3 kills to 3. They're even getting some additional damage in. And boy, they're really doing good work here. Nicely done, particularly with Brightwing appearing. So, do they get the kill? Not sure, especially since that bunker is still up, but they're going for the bell tower. The problem is that they might have to... yeah, they're going to lose a hero or two, aren't they? They get Sven, that's big. Brightwing likely going to get killed. Yeah, Brightwing is down. What about the rest of them? Brightwing dead. They got Blaze, though, so they're traded, and everyone else escapes. Nice! Kudos! Well done. Great job by Team Skogh. So now, down at the bottom of the map, we have the bell tower nearly retaken. But with the numbers being even in the position that they had, there's a quick boss claimed, and therefore another 4 shots fired. It's a really interesting one that we're now seeing here. Loving the first game. Great job by Skogh and Madara and their teams as they're just fighting tooth and nail here. There's still a leading experience for the blue team, but if you're looking at kills, if you're looking at core points, very, very even early game performance. Bit of a problem now for the red team though, because at the top there's a pumpkin camp that could very well end up getting more damage onto the red team's core. The fight at the bottom of the map over the next altar, that's a very different story though. Blue team is already trying to retreat here. Max Passion barely jumping out here. Yeah, and here come the pumpkins. 3 shots fired, all connecting. Nicely done. Still some interrupt down at the bot lane. Half a level lead, 4 kills on each side. And there's the stun. Chromie, the one to take him on. Madara with another kill, 5 versus 4. Despite the leading experience, Team Skogh is just not able to take control here. They don't have a talent advantage yet. I'm not gonna get it anytime soon, I assume. So they're still doing the best they can to buy some time for Hogger to reappear. 37-30, 8,000 damage now for Hammer and for Chromie, but the damage keeps coming. Max Passion low, can tap the fountain. Bishops on the other hand zips out with another X strike. Swift strikes back to base, but they're in real trouble here, and the channels there are happening. Ixia once again, the stun! Nice stun, and the immediate reaction also from Whitemane as she's still trying to save the day for the team. Another interrupt from Hunterhawk. They're buying the time they need, but just as Gavlo is back, they're losing Muradin and they're losing Genji. 2 heroes dead, and this will seal the deal on the altar. The channel has happened, but only 3 shots fired. That's the good news for Team Skogh. They have taken control at the top lane, as shown previously. They still held on to their bell tower at the bottom of the map, so limiting the damage that could be done. Really, the good news for Team Skogh is that Madara can't play Chromie again in game number 2. Heroes can only be played once within a series. There's no pre-bans, but still, the only to be played once in a series rule holds true. Tip of the hat to the Meta Madness rules. And that means Chromie can only be played once in this one. And they're already fighting through this as best they can here. So, in the middle, going for the next camp here. For the next minion wave. Down at the bottom, got Tyrael riding into battle on the white horse. I like the mounts. I really like it. Madara is rocking it. We got everything else lined up really well for them. So they're putting some real thought here into the synergy, into the tints and everything else. And I gotta appreciate that. Both of the teams are doing pretty decent, with a few notable exceptions. But now top side, Bell Tower has been retaken, so it's 4-4. The leading experience now for Team Madara. So, yeah. Now it is the red team that has taken control over experience, but since both of the teams are already on level 16, that is what mattered the most. And it is noteworthy that Giant Killer is now available, as is the final cut for Genji. So more damage that they can push out with this too. Top left, top right. Oh no! What a kill! They get Sergeant Hammer, and yeah, the red team is now really on the warpath. They're gonna get 2 of the altars. Only 1 gets fired by Team Skogh, and that means that we are extremely even in points on the core. 17-18 now. Honestly, you can't lose Sergeant Hammer this early in a team fight. When that happens, you have to give up the battle right away, which they did. The problem is still that we have Sylvanas in-game, and every time they get some kills, she is ready with the rest of the team to get them some more structures, and that's where we're seeing them once more. So yes, job well done. 4 kills to 8. The red team is getting more and more control in this game. Skogh and friends are doing their best to at least control the macro and push through the top lane with those continuous pumpkin camps that they've been claiming time and time again. That really helps. But since they also find themselves 1.5 levels behind their counterpart, that level 20 talent could make a big dent into their core points. Once that's there, map control will be in the hands of Team Madara for quite some time. So yeah, that's gonna get tricky. But let's see how they're gonna play this. They have a pumpkin camps themselves. And yep, off we go. Next attacks are already happening at the bottom of the map. They're still trying to play this one a little bit. Ah, Gavlo! No, not again! Dude, like what the hell? He just died a second ago and now this is happening. Damn, son. Yeah, that is more than a bit unfortunate. He came, he saw, he died again. Veni, Vidi, BG, as the Europeans would say. But that one is a bit unfortunate. I mean, that can't happen twice. You can't find yourself in the same spot 2 times in a row. Now they gotta give up those altars again, or at least have to try and buy some time for it, which is gonna be tricky too. Yeah. That's getting nasty, and they're trying to save the day, but you can already tell that it's difficult for them to stay alive here. The interrupts are dangerous. Sergeant Hammer is going to come back now. Maybe they can interrupt again, but there's already another attack for Max Passion. Has to pop Avatar, gets out. Sanctification. Max Passion is max dead, and Vicious is also low. Yes, they got Sergeant Hammer back on the map, but now instead of trying to fight for the altar, Gavlo has started to move back down to the bottom of the map and bring the bell tower back. The shots are being fired here, and they are going to fall into the single digits. This is not good. Not even a bit. Boss is taken too. 2 deaths on Sergeant Hammer, and they were back to back, and they were absolutely not necessary. They couldn't happen. Level 20. It's such a big lead now for the red team. Another save. Big stun, of course, in an attempt to save Hogger, but he's down. They're losing heroes all over the place, and the problem is that it's all staggered deaths. Muradin is now about to be back. Hogger is gone. They're completely falling apart here. They're getting absolutely wrecked. Madara and his team, they're doing such a fantastic job. Risky plays now by the blue team in a desperate attempt to turn the tide. It's not happening either. They couldn't get the kill. 18 points, 2-3. Fantastic control from Team Madara now. They're looking at level 20 advantage for a few more seconds, but it's more about them trying to get some bell tower control. It's a single altar that they need. That's all that they need. One altar. One altar is all that's needed here. Ultra capacitors now for Sergeant Hammer. Yes, they have level 20. They're most likely also going to get everybody back onto the map for the next fight, but let's not sugarcoat this. If you misplay just a bit, then this game's over. They have Tyrael. So Tyrael could cheese with Sanctification. You get the channel started with 1 hero, Tyrael moves in, drops Sanctification, and then you just cheese the channel through, and that allows you to win the game. So they have to zone them away completely. They couldn't even react to the bell tower aggression up at the top for the simple reason that they have to do their fight. And now the pumpkins are taken, and that of course makes this an absolute disastrous position that Team Skogh is in. Really tricky. But yeah, bottom channel, Hunter is going to likely get this. No interrupt here. Pumpkins are going to take this bell tower. That's big. Only 3 shots fired though, but they had to take it early. Here comes the fight. Yeah, channel hasn't happened. Brightwing is dead. The sustain is gone. Hogger isn't here. This is, yeah, this is the beginning of the end. I do not believe that they have a chance of bringing this one back. It would be an utter miracle for them, especially now that Genji is gone too. Absolutely no chance anymore. Madara, the man himself, trying with the channel, has to dodge out on the damage. Gavlo gone. Sergeant Hammer has been eliminated. Everybody's dead with the exception of the dwarf. He jumps in one last time, but we all know how this is gonna end. It's a 5-man team wipe that ends game number 1 in this best of 3 series in favor of Team Madara. Great play, great performance, and a well-deserved victory on the first map as we are headed for game number 2. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Well, here we are, game number 2, the lead for Team Madara. So the team in red was able to win map number 1, which means they have match point now. The 10 heroes that were played on the first map cannot be played again, keep that in mind. Meta Madness light rules, no pre-bans, none of those shenanigans, but you can't play the same hero twice in a series. But Team Skogh has to step it up a bit. Now, as I explained in the first game, it's good news now that Madara cannot play Chromie anymore, so you don't have to deal with that any longer. That was already annoying enough as is. And yeah, let's see what they do now. I'm also very interested to see what exactly Madara is now going to play. But Dragonshy is of course also a very, very different beast when it comes to maps. I mean, this one you have to have real strong map control in order to get the objective in the first place. You have to control 3 points, so usually that only happens after you got a few kills in. Lucio, banned right away. Also no Diablo at the front. But yeah, curious to see what we're getting in terms of compositions, particularly if we're getting, let's say, Rexa. Now you can obviously play a variety of heroes now at the top lane. Urel could again make an appearance. Dehaka should still be up. So there's still some incredibly strong choices. But Rexa has also always been very, very good on Dragonshire as an alternative pick. Bit of a support ban push now with Rhaegar and with Lucio banned. And there's the Hanzo ban. So making sure that Bishops doesn't lock that in again. As he did in previous series, no, previous map. But what's the first pick? Are we getting some top lane control right from the start? Or what are they valuing here? Last time that's what they opted in for. Particularly support side, by the way. Madara's team, he did a fantastic job. I mean, the Vitrian plays that we saw to keep the team alive were pretty sexy. It was really strong. So Gavlo in this case takes Junkrat as the first pick. Already annoying whenever you're trying to get control of anything, being it a shrine, but more so if you're trying to get the Dragon Knight. So that's not going to be easy at all when you have Junkrat just throwing one grenade after another against you. Well, for Team Madara, there's Dehaka and there's Maiev. Okay, so we already have Dehaka set for the top lane. I highlighted him as one of the main side laners that he can take here, try and get the numbers advantage. Now, there are options to try and counterplay that with other globals. Brightwing has been played previously, cannot be played again. You could play Falstad. That's another hero that Bishop has played multiple times in the past. With Maiev on the other side, you gotta be careful when those tethers come in and when she tries to get control. And they're going instead Tracer. But there's that Rexa pick that I highlighted. So Rexa now for the top lane and Tracer for Bishops. I kind of like that. So having Tracer right now is pretty cool here. We don't get as many Tracer picks as we've seen in the past, and I really enjoy it when we have that. Malfurion would pair well with her, so that's a potential ban or pick on the side of Team Madara now. So let's see what they're gonna do. Enubarak, no dive. That overheal for Tracer is always solid. But what do you get rid of for a blue team? What else are they afraid of? Range damage, could try and tweak around that a little bit. I'm just happy that we see Rexa again, and Tracer. It's kind of weird. Tracer was played so much for some time that she was a consistent pick in nearly every single game. But right now it's gonna be cool to have her here again. Another support gets banned. So they're really sticking with this. Even though they don't have a support yet either, they want to eliminate more and more possible combos and picks on Madara's team from Ixia, just to make sure that they're denying some of his strongest picks while being fully aware that whatever he chooses is going to limit their own support pool even further. Now, since there are no pre-bans in this format, we still have plenty of options. Jojo is in, and they combo that with Skogh. They have stuns and CC from all 3 melee heroes that they've now picked, which means that anything comboed off with a lurking arm should help them a ton here. And if you hit Tracer with that, it's gonna shut her down pretty quickly. So whenever she gets CC'd, she is probably gonna be in a really bad spot, at least when Skogh is also close, particularly if he picks Virulent Reaction later. They should be able to chain that easily. And there's Varian. Varian is in, and Malfurion. I already said he would be a great choice together with Tracer, and they indeed go for that particular combo. And Varian with a taunt. Gets spicy. You have Varian with taunt, Malfurion, root, follow-up, Rexa with an additional stun. There's so many combos and displacement that they can now use. And Madara, he goes for Bambi. So we get Lunara. Guys, map number 2. It's the first match point for Team Madara. Let's see if the series is going to end in a 2-0 victory for the red team, or if Team Skogh now brings it back on Dragonshire. Team Skogh against Team Madara. It is a chance for the blue team to redeem themselves and bring the series back. Skogh is playing Varian for the team. They have tons of stuff to follow up on his taunt on level 4. Gavlo on Junkrat, Max Passion on Rexa, Hunter Orc on Malfurion, and Bishops is playing Tracer. To the right side, we got Team Madara with the captain on Lunara. We have Ixia on Skogh, Sven on Dehaka, Evixos on Maiev, and Yon is playing Johanna. Now, I am quite curious if the red team can play this as aggressive as their team composition currently suggests. If you're playing with Varian, obviously you're playing Taunt. I mean, people that don't play Taunt just play Wood League or Quick Match. Nothing wrong with that. If you just want to fun around a little bit, hey, go for it. But in a competitive environment, in 100 games, you maybe see 2, if so, where Taunt isn't the insta choice for Varian, and for very good reason. So, early kill against Rexa is already putting a little bit of a dent into the aggressive ambitions of the blue team, and now they might even lose, and they do lose Junkrat, so that makes it worse. I really like the way that they are currently playing this, because the blue team clearly came in with an aggressive playstyle in the back of their head. You want to come in, you want to get taunt, then you have follow-up stuns with Misha, you have the roots from Malfurion, extra damage from Tracer, and even the displacement that you can bring with Junkrat. So if you're playing a composition like that, your goal is to dominate teamfights, to really be aggressive, get kills, and ideally also in the rotational plays that you're trying to execute on the map. But I've talked already during the draft a bit about how much CC is there for Team Madara, and they're using it. And look how they're roaming the map right now. They're not even afraid to attack the camp here. They're getting Rexa in, Bishops, yeah, he wants it, but I'm not sure they can get it. Skogh goes down though, so this attack kind of backfired a little bit. I still like the thought process behind it. They had 2 kills already, and they just said, okay guys, keep up the pressure, let's go, let's try for the next kill, and they couldn't make it happen. They lose 2 heroes, they lost the camp, it is a setback for sure, but it's still a very even game. I don't mind that attempt at all, to tell you the truth. For the very simple reason that if this attack works, and they get a kill and are able to take the camp, it would be incredibly difficult for the blue team to come back at all. Yeah, now they're getting the Skogh down at the bottom. It was a nice idea to try and take down Maiev, but she had too many friends coming. Again, the first game was quite interesting, and the second one is already promising to do the exact same thing for us. There's a big push happening now at the top that Johanna is trying to stop, or at least limit the damage a bit, stop the bleeding. But at the bottom of the map, we are seeing a similarly aggressive play from Team Madara around that camp now. And they got that kill against Varian. So this is going to be an incredibly interesting game, at least if we can follow up on what we're seeing here right now. Yeah, I kind of enjoy that. Good for us, bad for Team Madara that the attack at the camp didn't work, because again, as I mentioned, if that one comes through, then whew, it's going to be a completely different beast. Good save again. Ixia has been an absolute backbone of the team with his support plays throughout those games now. And he's pulling it off again. He saved Maiev earlier at the bot lane, and now he did the same with Lunara. So Bambi is still fine. And yeah, bit more poke against Malfurion this time. Bishop is coming in though, and Lunara is screwed. Lunara is dead. Goodbye. So Lunara is gone. Bye bye Bambi. Guys, they get this one. They got it! Skogh was trying to interrupt it and just couldn't. He got so close. He barely missed out on it. Now they're playing around the cooldown. I like it. They get everybody else back. But look how close this was. Check this out. Look how close that was. Just from a distance perspective. They're holding the bot lane. They're not even losing a hero. Varian comes in, barely misses it. Lunara again gets killed, but the Dragonite is still doing damage, but that was quite the steal they got. Now the counter kill after Lunara falls, they are able to take Tracer down. 4 kills to 4. The difference is really in the structural damage that could be executed in the middle now. And yes, they are getting tons and tons of hit points removed from the 4-2. Don't think they can destroy it, but that is already a win. The wall broken, the towers, the gate all destroyed, and then the fort itself at 50% HP. Dragonite for another 4 seconds. Gets one last Dragon's Breath out. That's all that he can manage there. But that was a very, very good first objective for them. And of course, sneaking it in the way they did. Big win. For Moral in particular. Build, by the way, when we're looking on Ixia, he went into the Fetid Touch with a vigorous reuptake and then the target excision. So in regards to builds, not focusing as much on the lurking arm as we oftentimes see. Good damage against Gavlo here, forcing him back, allowing them more space and time around the Siege Giant camp they're now trying to steal, and with success, I might add. So they get the Siege Giant camp, they're also able to get out in time. That flank is not going to hit them hard enough to result in any kills for the blue team. And yeah, with 5.5 minutes on the timer, there's level 10. They have half a level of an advantage, and look how they're using it. As long as they're not losing Jojo. Yeah, so Jojo's still alive. Yeah. But I'm actually amazed that the blue team is willing to be this aggressive as they're moving in here. So job well done. Gotta give it to them. They save the fort. Make sure that they're also threatening this. Ooh, we are getting a Twilight Dream here. We got some real spicy picks and lots of aggression here. I mean, Twilight Dream now also as a follow-up for Malfurion. Not looking for the sustain in long drawn-out team fights, but instead just really hoping to get that first kill early. And whenever they're going for taunt and anybody else on the side of the red team is trying to help the target out, they can move in Malfurion, drop the Twilight Dream, and try and get some kills there. Now, at the bottom, yeah, there's another taunt. Ixia. Didn't see that one coming. Yeah, he got caught a bit off guard here. That bush turned out to be his downfall. So, Ixia gone. That's the end of Stukov, and therefore also the end of the current ambition of Team Madara to be aggressive. Instead, they need to try and save their heroes, and well, they can't. So, another one bites the dust. As Maiev gets murdered. That's now the lead in kills for Team Skogh. They want that 1-1. They want game number 3. And they're doing everything they can to get us to that 3rd game. Down to the bottom of the map. More attempts to get control over the shrines. Yeah, Hunter Orc grabs this one. Misha at the top. And is this going to be a Dragonite? I would assume not. That would be a little bit too easy. Well, we got more heroes over here than I expected. There's another interrupt. Lunara is taking to the bot lane. Okay, they're going to deny the Dragonite. They're denying the Dragonite for now. Bambi has taken it all the way at the bottom. Bishop's moving back in. And Madara... yeah, careful, buddy. That could have gotten real dangerous really quickly. Madara with repositioning through the leap. Now they're trying for Rexa at the top. But they will retake this. Can the channel happen in time? No, not really. Lunara's already back down at the bottom of the map to take control again. And she does. So good for her. On the damage side, though, 13,000. Jojo is top damage with 13,000. 15,000 for Team Skogh. Yeah. Another taunt. Yeah, and the save. Alright. 13 talents on both sides is extremely even. Structurally, the red team is ahead, and now they get another kill. Malfurion is gone. The old geezer bites the dust. He was already shaking with arthritis right there. But that definitely finished the job. They're trying to go for Bambi again, but it seems that he's not going to make it. Good old Junkrat gets junked. Was even trying to get the Riptide out for a quick counter kill. That didn't work. At the top, a fort gets attacked, but they're definitely going to lose their own at the bottom of the map, and I would be shocked if the mid lane fort is not also getting targeted and destroyed the way that they're playing this. At least they could easily make that rotation. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't. Maybe prioritizing the camp, but yeah, even that's a question mark. As you can tell, they want the fort, and why wouldn't they? Varian has destroyed the fort at the top, so now it's 2 forts gone against 1. And talking Varian, he's in the middle and he's in trouble. Yeah, in real trouble here. Damage is coming and there's a lot of it. Varian goes down and there's a Blessed Shield trying to drop Bishops, who is able to move out, but that was a little bit too close for comfort too. So another one that's in real danger. Good lick on Misha, and that is Misha gone. Madara again repositioning with a leap back to safety, and the battle isn't over. With another connect, they're going for Rexa, and Rexa gets wrecked. So he's down too. Team Madara fighting back tooth and nail. And in the middle, guess who's waiting? It is Jojo. Get that channel, baby. And she does. Another Dragonite for the red team. Their second one in this game. Bit of a play still for Bishops at the top. He's barely making it out, but now down to the bottom of the map. Dragonite still in. Seems like they're going to try and get some damage. I don't think this one is going to be too impactful, to tell you the truth. But as long as they can soften up some of these walls, it's going to be fine. Level 16, and yeah, unfortunate for them. They're losing Skogh at a quite unfortunate time. I actually disagree, by the way, with what the Dragonite did there. I think moving down to the bottom of the map would have been the play. Just trying to take some of these minion waves down, or maybe even stay in the middle and get some damage against that keep wall, which they can still bust through to an extent. But I don't think that saving Skogh was really in the cards here. So now more focus on the mid lane. It's kind of a shame that they lost Skogh there. From their perspective, they were in a great spot. They had the Dragonite end level 16. Now they're also losing Maiev because the blue team is just willing to follow this up quickly. Dragonite got most of that wall. 2 towers, destroying them was the most important part. Jojo should be able to get out here. Yeah, bit of a punt. Can they get a lick? Oh, that would have been pretty good. Nah, not quite. If that kick would have resulted in a kill, that would have been quite funny. Madara talking about kills. Still alright, but needs to be very careful. Obviously one of the squishiest targets on the red team side, and therefore a juicy one for Tracer to engage upon whenever there's a chance. And Bishops is going to look for these opportunities. Of course he is. 23,000. Jojo is still the top damage dealer for Team Madara. Still top damage, which is ridiculous, honestly. 36,000 instead for Tracer. 23,000 also for Varian. Yeah, and there's still the Haka card that they can play. Having a global is absolutely invaluable once that the map is opened up. Bishops is a bit low here. Oh, damn, son. Yeah, seems like Madara is looking to commit, but good job. Bishops is dancing around everything. He dodged everything, the shield, the disc, a lot of the moves that were made by Lunara too, and now the flank is hitting the support again. And as much as I highlighted the great plays of Ixia earlier, now he's starting to run into way too much trouble. That's the 4th time that he was now taken down, and oftentimes they could just hit him hard with those flanks, and it is starting to become an issue. 9 kills to 8, 17 to 17. Yes, technically they're still fine, but they're consistently playing now with the numbers disadvantage. And as the death timers increase, they're not going to be able to do anything here. Disc misses again, so Maiev with another problem. No, I'm not able to connect that either. And they're zoning them past the bottom fort. Clearly trying to take that one out now, which would even up the position in regards to structures. And it indeed does. So, yeah, nicely done. Job well played. And so far, so good. For the blue team, there is an absolutely huge opportunity to bring this back and win this game. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a little bit curious to see what exactly they can do in the later stage around level 20. But as is right now, we're looking at a game where Team Madara had an initial lead and is now starting to slowly and steadily get pushed back into their base again. And Team Skogh is doing the best they can to just build on those taunts from Varian, get kills. They lock in their first Dragonite, and it will eventually end up with them getting an opportunity to tie the series, force game number 3, and maybe turn this entire thing around after all. They started into the entire tournament with a big win, so they were able to take a victory against their previous opponent, but right now they need to buckle down if they want to have a chance to win their second best of 3 series. So definitely a bit of a chance that they still have here, but time will tell what they can actually pull off. Big of a pause here. The Dragonite should help them to destroy the fort in the middle. At the same time, when you're looking down to the bottom of the map, you obviously still have the Siege Giants here too that have to be dealt with. There's even still an outlier of the Mercenary camp from previously in here that they could utilize too. Up at the top, we still have Rexa pushing out the camp that was claimed by Team Madara. Is also going to give them a bit more XP. The level 20 talents should roughly hit at the same time. Always a bit dependent on how much damage can really be done by Team Skogh as they are going in for this. But generally speaking, they're doing a fantastic job controlling that late game stage. Now, Dehaka can be a game changer in the late game, as I highlighted earlier. On top of that, you also have the CC that still exists at the front that initially was what allowed Madara to get those kills. So if they can get into the flow of the game again, then they have a good chance here. But the last couple of battles just didn't really go their way. They were always engages by Varian, but with the taunt, he was able to do a lot of work here. And yeah, this was just a little bit too good. So yeah, either way, when it comes to damage, we still have Jojo looking pretty decent. Not top damage anymore though. Lunara is slowly starting to be an actual damage dealer. So do a little bit more, as she should. And well, here comes the taunt again. Immediate attempt at a counterplay by Ixia, but he can't save Lunara. So it's another kill. The story continues. Every time they're losing a hero. But this time at least they're able to get a counter kill. So now that Junkrat's gone, we're looking at a 4 versus 4 again. And level 20 talents that should hit for both of them in just a few seconds. So another quick move through the middle. Here we go. The entire wall gets destroyed. Nicely done. And there is level 20. And with level 20, we now get the kill command. Glory to the Alliance is in as well. And on the other side, we're getting the Galloping Gates. We got the Shadow Hope Underswind. We got the Bio Explosion switch now with Radiating Faith for Jojo. Well, Furion hasn't made a choice yet. His choice into the Twilight Dream, by the way, worked out for them. They got a few kills off that, and they haven't really needed to sustain themselves through any long and drawn-out fights. I mean, these kill squads are still roaming the map as best as they can. But, yeah. It's all about how can they stack the CC now. And can they get the kill first? They're trying to force this, and this time they get the Disc on Tracer before Gavlo is there. And, well, Junkrat isn't there yet, so they can't get too much at the top, but it's going to be a 5 versus 5 fight in just another moment, and that is going to change gears very quickly. Ixia again low, Riptide is coming out, Heal is there, and they blow him up. Skogh is gone. It seems to be the story of this map. It's the support that gets murdered over and over again. Nearly half of the deaths on the side of the team in red are on Skogh. So Team Skogh, they want game 3. They're forcing this as best they can. More and more pressure, more and more aggression. They're looking good here. 11-9 is what we're looking at in overall kills right now. And there's another quick jump as they're going for Maiev. But this time at least she's able to get out. So Maiev is able to move back. We're having 39,000 for Lunara, 64,000 for Tracer. So pretty brutal. But so far the keep hasn't fallen. But Skogh, ooh, Bambi! That ragdoll punt. Bambi is gone. Now they're going for Maiev. She's also in trouble. Misha wants the kill, doesn't get it. They went deep for it, but the keep is of course even more exposed though than previously. So yes, they're moving in, trying to drop the keep, and now they can. It's the same old story. Staggered deaths as Team Madara is trying to save the keep, which just didn't happen for them. And now with 21 on each side, we have to play for the next Dragonite as well. The objective has been announced. Rexa is already at the top. We have the rest of the team down to the bot lane going for the second channel. And well, they might be able to do that. It's a 5 versus 4 on the map. It's not going to be that easy, but the more time Team Madara spends at the top lane trying to defend that shrine, the more time these Siege Giants and the rest of the blue team have to push through the bottom of the map in an effort to take down the next keep. So yeah, it's getting a little bit dicey over here. There's a lot of pressure against the red team, and pressure that they can't afford, so they had to retreat, and that allowed in the middle the grab of the Dragonite. Junkrat claimed it. Their plan, at least at the beginning, was to control the top shrine, but with that push against the keep, they had to retreat. So now they want the kill. Might get that, but the heals are there. But finally, they take Varian down, and this might help them with the defense. Ixier's a bit low. Blessed Shields. The drag, the lick. Great play against Tracer. And she still makes it out with the recall. You gotta be kidding me. Tracer is able to escape and gets out, which is insane given how low she was. But here we are, 50,000 against 80,000 damage. Bambi doing her best to poke and poke and poke and poke, but it's Tracer that just literally runs circles around them. Thanks to the kill against Varian, they weren't able to get that bottom keep though. So they still have to manage with only one keep destroyed. An opportunity for Team Madara to come back. This is match point for them. They don't want to go to game 3. They want to end it right here. Another disc is out and connects. Lurking arm. This has to be a kill. They gotta get it this time, and they do. And now Varian is back. So what happened to the red team over and over again throughout this map is now happening to Team Skogh. They're losing heroes, staggered kills all over the place. Just as Varian comes back, it's another 2 heroes that get destroyed. And now it's time for Junkrat to say bye-bye. This is the opportunity to go for the middle keep. Nobody's going to take this one away from them. Only 2 tanks that are still here. And oh my god, they can't lose them. They're losing Varian again. It's the same problem. You can't stagger deaths like this. You need to slow them down, of course, but if you lose more and more heroes in the process, then eventually you're just gonna get crushed, and Team Madara is now trying to go straight for the core. They want to end the game, and why wouldn't they? It's 10 seconds until Tracer is back. It's the perfect opportunity. They go for gold here. They go for the 2-0 victory. Team Madara with the win in game number 2. It looked like a GG in favor of Team Skogh, but they outplayed themselves in the late game, and the red team takes a 2-0 and takes the best of 3 series.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.